Toward the start of the movie, we are acquainted with a young boy called In-soo, a youthful school understudy with a special capacity. He can see ghosts meandering around him. He continually wears a strange locket that begins to turn at whatever point a ghost spirit draws near. Sadly, as a result of this extraordinary ability, he is much of the time tormented by his schoolmates, who call him the ghost soothsayer. At some point, while on the metro, In-soo's locket goes off the deep end, letting him know there's a ghost close by. At the point when he glances around, he sees a little kid's ghost among the bustling metro swarm. This disrupts In-soo, provoking him to escape the metro rapidly. He then surges back home and sweeps the room with his locket. From then, In-soo tracks down nothing and gets alleviated except for then. The locket begins turning and he recognizes that there is ghost around the house. Here, it is uncovered that the ghosts don't approach In-soo to hurt him. They simply need assistance from him. As a matter of fact, this specific ghost seems to have been killed, so she illuminates him about her corpse's area. She just maintains that her parents should discover some comfort. At that point, In-soo wavers, yet after a great deal of persuading, he contacts the police and settles the case. Despite the fact that he assists the ghost with her solicitation, In-soo is burnt out on his abilities. He basically needs to carry on with a typical existence and make companions. Subsequently, he chooses to stop school and look for answers in his old neighborhood. He contacts his uncle, Akaru, and tells him that he is coming. The last option attempts to deter him, saying his examinations are significant, yet In-soo doesn't listen. In the following scene, he gets back to his old neighborhood, and en route, he recognizes a lovely young lady named Rose. Afterward, In-soo meets his uncle, who appears to have a similar ability to see ghosts like him. Not just this, he is an expert exorcist, who is known for banishing ghosts to the great beyond. The following day, In-soo gets owned up to his childhood school. The educator acquaints him with everybody, and In-soo trusts that he can have a new beginning here. Sadly, a gathering of menaces notice him and quickly begin torturing him. One of the harassers named Yoon-ji even plays with him, regardless of having a sweetheart, Hae-chul. As this is all going on, In-soo detects a female ghost wearing a veil outside the classroom also, becomes alarmed. Afterward, as he is getting back from school, Hae-chul abruptly goes after him from behind also, punches him. The bully cautions In-soo to avoid his girlfriend, despite the fact that she was the one being a tease. Hae-chul then, at that point, undermines our kid by raising the instance of a specific Ayung. She passed on under baffling conditions a very long time back, and In-soo was visited by her ghost various times. She generally argued for help, yet In-soo never dared to do as such. This was one of the fundamental motivations behind why he moved to the city. The scene then slices to one of the female bullies, who gets back and finds a polythene sack holding hanging the front entryway. At the point when she takes a stab at opening it, the polythene breaks and blood spills all around her face. Frightened, the bully frantically attempts to telephone her companions, yet the call in all likelihood will not connect. Then, at that point, quickly, similar veiled apparition from before assaults her and completions her off. Afterward, In-soo sitting with a similar young lady from prior, Rose. She is really a ghost, who died a few years back. In any case, since she isn't unnerving and ugly like the others, In-soo likes conversing with her. Abruptly, wind begins to blow and Rose tells In-soo that the masked girl is close to them. This alarms the boy and he quickly takes off from that point. The following day at school, as Yoon-ji is bugging a kid before the whole class, In-soo gets tired and intercedes. He arranges her to stop the harassing for the last time. True to form, different bullies spring forward to thrash In-soo, however Yoon-ji stops them. Apparently she has begun loving him. At night, In-soo and his uncle are watching the news. They see a tackled murder situation where the killer is at last caught following decade. He is viewed as wearing a mask. This quickly gets In-soo consideration as he reviews the masked ghost he saw at school. He discusses her with his uncle, expecting to track down any data. All of a sudden, a female soul, who gives off an impression of being residing in a similar house, uncovers that the masked girl's name is Se-hee. In the meantime, a couple from the harasser group slips into the school around evening time. They are there to get back the girl's cell phone, which was held onto by one of the instructors prior. Subsequently getting the job done, they enter a classroom and have a great time. Then, at that point, the girl hurries to the washroom, letting the boy be, while sitting tight for her to return. Out of nowhere, the masked ghost, Se-hee, shows up and kills him. After this, she stands up to the next bully in the washroom, slow down, and finishes her off too. The next day, the whole school is stirred up by the murders. Specifically, Yoon-ji seems, by all accounts, to be troubled as the entirety of her companions are being designated one after another. In the meantime, In-soo attempts to assemble data on the masked ghost, Se-hee. He asks with everybody in the classroom, yet nobody thinks for even a moment to discuss Se-hee, notwithstanding the way that they know about her. Apparently her passing needed to accomplish something with the bully group. While In-soo and Rose are partaking in their time together, he gets a message from one of his colleagues. She incorporates a photograph of Se-hee, as well as an explanation referencing that she shouldn't be interrogated concerning Sei-hee any longer. In-soo then, at that point, inquires as to whether she has a lot of familiarity with Sei-hee. Accordingly, the lovely ghost girl says that the whole school knows how she died. Hearing this, it at long last first lights on In-soo that the bully group was answerable for Sei-hee's demise. Filled with rage as he goes after Hae-chul from behind, yet the harasser effectively overwhelms him, furthermore punches him, all things being equal. In any case, In-soo, with an evil grin all over, says Sei-hee is coming for you all. Afterward, when the bullies are getting back, Yoon-ji shows Hae-chul an image of Sei-hee's father and connections it with her companion's murders. She is sure that the elderly person is killing every one of the harassers individually as a demonstration of retribution. Hae-chul concurs with her supposition, and together they choose to head towards Sei-hee's home. What's more, kill her dad. However, Yoon-ji furtively messages In-soo about their arrangement. In the following scene, In-soo gets the message and illuminates his uncle about the circumstance. Despite the fact that he detests the harassers, he realizes that their lives are in harm's way. As he chooses to stop them before it's past the point of no return, Hikaru requests that he be cautious, and gives him a mysterious blade for protection. Then again, as Hae-chul and Yoon-ji go into the house, they are frightened by a ceaseless pounding sound coming from a container. Simultaneously, they notice a few garish pictures of the dead girl, Sei-hee. Now they understand that In-soo was talking reality. Sei-hee has without a doubt come out for vengeance. Frightened, the bullies attempt to take off, and yet, Sei-hee's dad strangely jumps out of the container and finishes off Hae-chul. Seeing her boyfriend die in such a ruthless act, Yoon-ji asks for her life. She even apologizes for all that she did previously. Be that as it may, the dad doesn't pay attention to her words and kills her also. In the outcome, In-soo at long last shows up at the scene. He goes into the house to find his colleagues lying limp on the floor. He additionally sees Sei-hee's dad and understands that he has been moved by his girl's ghost. Similarly, as In-soo is going to leave, he hears a sound coming from a close-by storeroom. Inside, he tracks down Sei-hee with her typical mask on. In-soo fearlessly exposes her and finds that she is, as a matter of fact, Rose. Following this, we are taken to the past to figure out what truly occurred. Sei-hee was a carefree girl at a similar school, however very much like the others. She was moreover tortured by the bully group. At some point, in the wake of contacting her limit, she gripped to the head teacher about Yoon-ji's tormenting conduct, viewing the matter in a serious way. The educator offended Yoon-ji before everybody. This incensed the bully girl such a lot of that she chose to make Sei-hee's daily routine an experiencing for hell's sake. From the following day onwards, Yoon-ji and her posse began dealing with Sei-hee like an animal. They beat her up, pulled her hair, put a match to her hair, and, surprisingly, constrained her to feeble a mark. Every one of the understudies in the class saw this, however they never spoke out because of dread of meeting a similar destiny. The consistent torment negatively affected Sei-hee's life and she cried constantly at home. Her concerned dad encouraged her to contact the head teacher, yet Sei-hee declined, saying this would just raise things. Then one day, tired of the consistent maltreatment, she committed the incomprehensible. In the great beyond, her soul split into two characters. The first is Rose, who looks like the real Sei-hee, sweet and consistently accommodating to other people. The subsequent one is the masked girl, who is on a mission to take out the entirety of her victimizers. In the present, In-soo finds a journal in which the casualties' all's names have been crossed out with the exception of the head teacher. This implies that the masked girl isn't finished with her killings yet. Terrified, In-soo quickly calls his uncle and solicitations him to go to Sei-hee's home also, execute the interment customs. At that point, continues to the school to save the head teacher. In the following scene, as the head teacher is working alone, she is stood up to by Sei-hee's soul. Not long after, In-soo arrived at the school and he promptly asks about the teacher. Be that as it may, nobody appears to have seen her. Out of nowhere, the lights go out and Sei-hee shows up before them. Having had the head teacher's body, she then, at that point, uncovers her actual masked self and expresses that since they generally chose not to see to her when she was being harassed, they all should be rebuffed. In-soo endeavors to stop her, yet Sei-hee snatches a lighter and tosses it on the ground where gas was tossed previously. Apparently every one of the understudies will be signed to death. In any case, shockingly, Rose, the adjust self-image of Sei-hee, gets the lighter before it can raise a ruckus around town ground. The two then, at that point, have a shocking discussion, where Rose attempts to prevent her other self from hurting the understudies. In any case, Sei-hee, who is significantly more impressive, effectively smacks away Rose, making her vanish. Then again, Hikaru arrives at Sei-hee's home and starts his supernatural custom. With her otherworldly strength, Sei-hee starts to break everything in her way. On the opposite side, In-soo starts checking the otherworldly locket on anybody who could be moved by Rose. At the point when he finds the locket twirling around a girl, he advises her to quit everything and furnishes her with a notepad he found inside Sei-hee's compartment. The scene swings back to a flashback, uncovering that In-soo and Sei-hee were cherished, lifelong companions. She had even safeguarded him once from the bullies. They had all the earmarks of being enamored, and In-soo had portrayed an image of her in his journal. In the present, he is sorry to Rose's soul for neglecting to distinguish her. The interruption ends up being enough as Hikaru finishes his responsibility on the opposite end. As the unfortunate girl's soul is at last freed, the blade in In-soo's pocket begins to glow. Rose hauls it out and promptly cuts herself, after which we see a flashback of In-soo and Seihi's great recollections. In the last scene, the understudies are all shown grieving at Seihi's grave. In-soo is likewise present, with a delightful sketch of his cherished Rose. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.